the Fandom Omnibus podcast. I'm your host, Chancellor D, joined today by Dani. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Today is Sunday, December 6th, right? Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
It's the
hmm
6th, yes. And we're actually continuing on from the previous episode, which we actually discussed the HBO Max Warner Brothers 2021 movie deal that starts in the end of this month on Christmas Day with Wonder Woman 1984. But we actually want to take that a step further, or a giant leap further, or a league further. Yeah, with actually discussing how this deal could play into DC Fandom 2021. But I'll actually will pass it on to you.
Yeah. So when the whole announcement was made that HBO Max was going to stream all of Warner Media's movies, I was extremely excited. And for me, it was expected. I know I've been seeing things online saying they can't believe that they're doing the entire slate, but in my opinion, they didn't have a choice. Because for one, the longer they held these movies, the more money it costs to make because they do make these movies on loan. And then on top of that, HBO Max just needs the subscribers. In terms of all the new streaming services, HBO Max is basically at the bottom. So I pulled up the streaming subscribers. And so according to Forbes, and Forbes released this November 13th, right now Netflix has 193 million subscribers, Prime has 150 million, Disney Plus is at 73 million, Apple TV 40 million, Hulu 36.6 million, and HBO Max 8.6 million. And when you combine that with HBO, it goes up to 57 million. So, there's a huge difference. And the difference, honestly, in my opinion, shouldn't be that huge because out of all of the new streaming services, HBO Max is, in my opinion, the best one as far as the content that they're putting out and the future content I know we're going to get. So from that perspective, I understood why HBO Max is going to be streaming all of these movies. And then for me personally, as a fan, I'm happy that they're putting the movies on HBO Max because I was a person who, I watched the DC fandom. I have on my Batgirl shirt. I'm a huge DC fan, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I made it a big event. I had I hooked my laptop up to my TV, so I had like 3 screens going where I could blog what was going on, and then I had another one where I could talk to my friends about it, and then I had another screen where I could just watch it. So I was like super pumped, and it was the best virtual event that we got this year. You could tell that they put money into it. You could tell they put effort into it. We got big like trailer releases. We got big announcements. We had amazing panels from the comic book industry. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so when are we doing DC Fandom 2021? I'm ready already. And if these movies were not put on HBO Max, I don't even think they could have possibly done another DC Phantom that was as exciting because there would have been no payoff to the one they had this year. So from that perspective, as a fan, I hate what it would do to theaters because, this has been a really rough year for theaters. And it's not just Warner Media who has really stuck it to theaters. They've had issues with Universal. Disney Plus has been airing movies that were supposed to go into theaters on their streaming service. So I hate what is going to happen to theaters because I personally love going to theaters. It's a place where I go to just kind of relax and get away sometimes and just be alone when I feel like I need to be alone. So I do hate that, but yeah, I am excited because now I feel like DC Fandom could move forward as like this big global virtual convention.
Yeah, I agree with you because I remember like when the first day was back in August, and then the second
Mm-hmm.
was in September. And we were both
Mm-hmm.
texting back and forth, watching the panels. And
Yep.
the first day they had the Hall of Heroes,
Yep. Yep.
and it was just a straight stream. We couldn't pick anything that we wanted to watch. You just had to watch what was there. And I think they had their first panel was the Wonder Woman 1984 cast panel.
Yep. That was the first panel. Yep.
And that was exciting.
It was. It started with Wonder Woman, ended with Batman.
Yes, the Batman movie that's currently being filmed right now.
Yep. Yep. And so with now, the video game is going to be released. The Gotham Knights. The Wonder Woman movie will be released, and the Suicide Squad will be released. So that really to me moves DC fandom forward. So I compiled a list of everything that DC should be able to talk about DC fandom 2021. So last year DC fandom was in September. So if they keep around the same time frame, August, September, there should be some exciting news about Black Adam. I'm pretty sure they should at least have like a trailer or something by then. Then you can they should have something, I would think, regarding Flash, especially, they've made casting moves, so I would assume that maybe they will start filming. Michael B. Jordan is doing the new Static Shock, so hopefully we can have some news about what Static Shock is going to be about, maybe some casting announcements. The Batman is actually going to be released March 2022, so by that time maybe we'll have a sneak peek, another major trailer, and we might have some extra news regarding the Shazam. So I feel like they still have enough big, news announcements they can make with DC Fandom 2021. So for HBO Max, we might get something about the Green Lantern show, which that show is going to focus on, let's see, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, Guy Gardner, the original Green Lantern.
Al Jordan. Alan Scott.
Alan Scott. Yep, Alan Scott is supposed to be in it, and Kilowog. Okay. And they're going to be introducing some other Green Lanterns. Then they have the Gotham PD show that they're doing, which sounds like to me will be excellent. And then they have the Peacemaker show with John Cena. And they just I can't remember who it was. They just, you don't see me, that's your favorite wrestler. But look, no, they just cast somebody for Peacemaker. Because I blogged about it. So I'm going to look it up in a minute. But then they also have Doom Patrol. You have DMZ, which is what I mentioned earlier, Young Justice, Harley Quinn, and Titans.
Yes. So
they could come through with all kinds of announcements for DC Fandom 2021 from those HBO Max shows. And the thing about the movies this year for DC Fandom were really prepared, and they had their trailers and sneak peeks and stuff. I feel like the TV shows didn't really give us as much. The only thing to me that we got from the TV shows was the Titans announcing that we were getting Red Hood. So I would love to see the DC shows come with more announcements next year.
I mean, also Flash, they did show some like sneak footage for next season.
I just feel like they have to get these movies out of the way because I need my DC fandom to keep going because I love it.
Yeah, because honestly, like, you had a really good comment on the YouTube channel for the last episode I did about HBO Max. You said, "I'm not sure if this played a role in the decision, but there was no way you could do DC Fandom in 2021 without dropping these movies. I really enjoyed DC Fandom this year, and Warner Brothers was very happy with the turnaround and are looking to continue the conversation. There was no way they could do another Fandom without Wonder Woman, the Snyder Cut, and the Suicide Squad dropping beforehand. The 2021 Fandom has to have new exciting announcements, trailers, and teasers. So for that alone, I'm happy these movies are coming out."
So like DC Fandom generated 22 million views around the world. So I mean, from a virtual convention, that is huge. You know, like the biggest conventions at most is getting around 150,000 people who can attend at once. So to have 22 million people on that day one just tuned in, locked in, um, just enjoying and taking in DC content, that was awesome. You know what I'm saying? And they've already said that this is something that they want to do, and they're trying to, of course, figure out how they can monetize it. But I don't think we have to worry about them trying to monetize it. I don't know. They might try to charge people 2021. I don't know. I wouldn't. I would make it free, but that's just me.
I would make it free. I mean, that whole 2 days. I know we were spaced out by a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do that again.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, the feel I got from both of them, I felt like we were actually at an actual convention in person.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was missing was me standing in line for chicken tenders.
Yeah, I know, right? I had one of my friends come over, and like I said, I had the whole situation hooked up. We ordered pizza. We watched. I'm getting hyped. I had on my shirt and got dressed up for it. So then for the DC fandom on the CW side, then of course you have the Flash, which to me now is the staple show with Supergirl also ending. Then you have Superman and Lois, Legends of Tomorrow, Stargirl, Painkiller might be getting a show, and the new Wonder Girl.
Where do you see all this headed? Do you think all this is going to be going like a positive direction as a whole? Like, I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be positive for DC fans and for Warner Media, because I do think with the slate that they're about to put out and just make for free on HBO Max, which if people don't know, if you have AT&T and you have a certain subscription, unlimited plan, you can get HBO Max for free. So I was reading that a lot of people actually have free access to HBO Max and they're just not even signing up for it. So if anybody's watching this and you want HBO Max, but you don't want to spend $15, just see if there's a way you can get it for free. But yeah, and they're encouraging people to get their free subscriptions because
you need to check with your cable provider, check with your satellite providers, and see if you're paying for HBO and you have a provider, whether it be cable or satellite, you more than likely have it. Just check the HBO Max website for the FAQs, and you'll see if you have it.
Yeah, get it for free if you can, because let me tell you, there's some good stuff up there. They're going to be pumping out all this DC content. All the DC Universe shows are going to be up there now. Doom Patrol, Titans, Young Justice, Harley Quinn. It's worth it. It's worth it, especially if you get it for free. So I think from a fan perspective, from our perspective, it's a great thing. For the theater perspective, it's sad, honestly, because we talked about this last night, and we just talked about how, like, if you don't adapt quick enough in this industry and just in this world that we're living in now, that's just that is becoming more technological as the years go by, that you're going to go extinct eventually. We talked about how we enjoyed Blockbuster in the 90s, where we would go on the weekend and get the movie and you watch the movies with your family. Then Blockbuster, they lost out to Redbox, who made it more convenient to go to the grocery store, get a movie for $1 and go home and then just take it back to the grocery store. And then Redbox lost out to Netflix, who was like, we'll just mail you the DVDs so you can just like put it on a queue, we'll mail it and you mail it back. Then Netflix was smart and saw what the future was going to be and started streaming. And then by that point, studios, they got on the streaming, but they got on it way later than Netflix, so they're completely behind Netflix in subscribers. But now that studios are now getting into the streaming business, it's like, where does that leave theaters? You get what I'm saying? Because eventually these movie studios are going to be like, well, I have my own platform and I can put it on my platform and not give you anything. So, And we talked about this last night, how when we were teenagers or when we were in our early 20s, people would go to the movie theaters to hook up. They would, you know, do things in the theater. It wasn't like a huge secret. So it's not like theaters have been like the cleanliest places that you could go, and you might have people on the phone talking and they don't do anything about it. So now it's like things that should have been addressed, they didn't address it, and now they're going to have to scramble to be like, oh no, we're clean, we're not using recycled air anymore. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be, so it's sad, because like I said, I enjoy going to the movie theaters, and honestly, it wasn't something I thought about, like the cleanliness of a theater, until the pandemic hit, because the pandemic has made everybody kind of sit down and reevaluate everything. And when you're thinking about everything, you're like, yeah, that wasn't the cleanliest place that you could be. And maybe I don't want to go there right now and just stay home and watch my movies.
True. And
Yeah.
and I get you on the cleanliness, and I think the one, and that's something I've thought about. Sometimes you would go and see, like, if they haven't cleaned the theater yet, and
Mm-hmm.
you know leftover popcorn or whatever stuff on the floor, and you would just kick it away or whatever, and it's like,
Yep. Yep.
it's like, whatever. I'm here to watch the movie. I mean, until we are safely able to go back, I'll end on this. Until we're safely there, be able to go back and have these, the positive experiences, the experiences of, let's go day one to watch the next Star Wars movie in a packed house, or the next Avengers movie on the big screen, or a DC movie, or Justice League movie, or whatever franchise it is, whatever movie it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to stay put and do what we can to make sure we take care of ourselves. But
Yep.
when we can go and have these experiences, the communal experiences, if you will, again, when that time comes, it's
If
gonna
they
it's gonna be wonderful, and I'm not gonna mind paying whatever we have to pay to get popcorn. I just want to be there again.
Yeah, and I said I do enjoy the theater, but you know what? I was watching a video about this, and they were saying how they might move more to the boutique theaters, where they're smaller, they're more focused on customer service. Because I love going to Cinebistro.
Right, you
Like,
will.
I like going to the Cinebistro. I think the most amount of people that can be in that theater is like 30, something like that. And it's like you have these big chairs, and they're together in twos. So you're not all up on each other. They have good foods, they have good drinks, the atmosphere is nice. Like, they have a little lounge area you can sit in before the movie starts. They have a bar. So it's like, I think it'll have to come down to stuff like that. Like, okay, I'm going to go to the movies, but they're going to offer like a whole experience to get you in.
Right.
It can't go back to the same way that things were. Like you said, kicking popcorn out of your way, and you sit arm to arm with a person. I don't think it could go back to that.
No, because that's where you and I saw, with your friends, when we saw the Harley Quinn movie, and
Yeah.
I enjoy getting the food, and enjoying the movie, and having like like my own little, like, cube chair. But
Mm-hmm.
I there's a lot more we can say, but I do want to say, thanks for joining today on Fandom Omnibus podcast. I appreciate it. But you just let people know, like, where can they find you online, and where can they
Yeah.
find your um, blog.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's Heroic Adventurous, and I know that's long to write out, so it'll be written out for you at the bottom. But it's Heroic Adventurous. I think it's like at tumblr.com. I'm not exactly sure how they write it, but yeah, I'm Heroic Adventures on Tumblr.
All right. Well, I do want to say thank you again for joining us today. Please, follow Dani on Heroic Adventures. Please go read your wonderful, wonderful content. And for us, thanks for tuning in, and please subscribe here on YouTube, and please click that notification bell. And we'll see you next time on the Fandom Omnibus podcast. And please, read your books. Please support our artists. Please read your books. Read them.
Exactly. Yes, and the first appearance of Yara Floor and Red X will be out next year. You might want to get it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, till next time, we'll say enjoy, have a good one, stay safe, and we'll see you next time on the Fandom Omnibus podcast.
Holla.